To all the guests who have come here today from outside, as well as my faculty, colleagues and staff, welcome to this very important and timely workshop on the topic of food security through technological interventions, production, processing and logistics. The idea came to our mind when we were discussing in the MHRD about how to initiate pan-IIT initiatives. What is happening is people recognize IIT and then when they want to go to which IIT should I go to do this. So we thought that we would try to work together along with other institutions who have capabilities in different fields and come up to solve certain important problems, both which do big science as well as both the other side which looks at very, very important problems of India. And what else could we do, which problems we could take up, which also requires interdisciplinary understanding and thinking. And for that, we came across certain problems for which we need to serve and devote our scientific energies to look at certain policies which the people of India have come up with, of which we know education, healthcare, food are some of our basic policies. And while discussing with Ms. Amita Sharma, we said that let us try to do some rights-based research. Because if there is a right, obviously there is a duty and there is an obligation to meet that right. So how could we achieve that, and what could be our contributions to achieve that? And we're doing several things. For example, today morning we had discussions on several topics. The other IITs are discussing on the future of cities. Uday, please. Uday, please. Just sit there. Uday, sit in the middle.
Can somebody get a chair for them? Just come, we get a chair.
You just get a chair.
Go on a second.
Come in the middle. So we also welcome Professor Desai, Director IIT Hyderabad, and many of you may be already knowing Professor Desai. So with this, we would like to have this workshop, and IIT Kharagpur, when we started discussing this, three core departments, the agriculture, food engineering, the biotechnology as well as the advanced plant genetic engineering center, and the industrial engineering and management. We all thought that we can look at this up and bring in other people from other departments, including computer science engineering, including other places where we can work together to develop a core proposal which we are going to discuss with you today. Then we thought that not only the IITs, this is a topic where we need to get experts from all other places. And sometimes when we are stuck with what to do, we look at some of the people who are very close to us. And that is why we called all our people here. We immediately contacted Professor Panjab Singh. We also contacted Professor Chandra, Professor Magar, Professor Vishwanathan, and all our guests who have come here from IIT Delhi, from IIT Bombay, from IIT Madras, from IIT Bhubaneswar, from IIT Guwahati, from IIT Kanpur, from every place we've got people here, and Professor Desai is here from IIT Hyderabad. The objective here is to have our first cut discussion where we will raise issues ourselves, we will discuss with experts, and then we will have a detailed brainstorming session about the way ahead, which can bring about a confluence of various interdisciplinary sciences, and then come on to very tangible things which we can achieve, which we can pilot, which we can take forward. So let me welcome all our guests here, and before we start I would like everybody to just quickly introduce themselves. The people on the dais we know, and the others would.
I am Peter Chandra, Director, Central Institute of Agriculture and Engineering, Bhopal.
Sir, Dr. S.S. ex-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bala Sahib, Vishwavidyalaya, Dapoli, Maharashtra, and also alumni of this institute in 1977.
Thank you.
Myself, B. Misra, from CRA Qatar, Chemical Scientist. I'm working on postgraduate agriculture. I'm Prof. Bhadolia, Head of Agriculture and History Department, and also Quantities. I'm Professor Sharma from Gargi I'm Rajendra Singh, Professor of Agriculture in Food Department and also Dean of Undergraduate Studies.
I'm Deepanita Rajendra, Professor Department of Computational Engineering at IIT
I'm Krishna Shankar, Professor of Computer Science and Engineering from IIT Kharagpur.
I am Professor Ravi Shankar. I am Professor in the Logistics and Supply Chain Management area at IIT Delhi.
Myself, Venkat Maitri, I am faculty from Biotechnology and Advanced Laboratory for Plant Engineering.
I am Shunanda Dasgupta, Professor Chemical Engineering of this institute.
I am P.K. Maitri, Professor Department of Biotechnology, Head of the Department.
This is Dinesh Kumar, pharmacologist from National Institute of Nutrition and coordinator of the preclinical safety and efficacy. Professor Biotechnology at
Sharma, Professor from Department of Genetics, Vinayachandra Vishwavidyalaya.
Sri Ghosh, Professor Department of Biotechnology at
Yes, they Professor of Biotechnology and I work on Institute Project.
I'm J.K. Sharma, one of the Institute Manager of IIT Kharagpur.
Dr. Chen Ravi, Assistant Professor in IIT Kharagpur.
Dr. Jitesh Chakkar from Department of Industrial Engineering and Management, IIT Kharagpur.
I am Dr. Sachin Gore from IIT Guwahati.
I am Professor V.K. Tiwari, Professor in Agriculture and Food Department at
I am Poonam Tripathi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Agricultural and Food Engineering, IIT Kharagpur.
I am H.N. Misra, Professor of Food Technology, Agriculture and Food Department of Association.
I am K. Tiwari, Professor in Agriculture and Food Engineering Department, IIT Kharagpur.
Sir S.P. Sharma, Associate Professor in Industrial Engineering and Management, IIT Kharagpur. From Vishwadeep Mahanti, Professor in Industrial Engineering and also looking after the Dean Planning and Coordination.
I am Professor Manoj Tiwari, Head of Industrial Engineering Management, and also coordinator of this program.
Thomas, Lady of Farmers Training for IIT Kharagpur.
Rajiv, Professor of Operation and IIT.
Desai Kumar, I am Professor and Head School of Management, IIT Kharagpur.
Professor Kumar Das, Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering and Chemical.
Vishnu Kumar, Assistant Professor in History.
Nick Maslan, Associate Professor, Agriculture and Food Department of Singh.
Myself, Madan Kumar Jha, Professor, Agriculture and Food Department, IIT Kharagpur.
S. Datta Gupta, Professor of Agricultural and Food Engineering. S. L. Srivastava, Food Process Engineering Section of Agricultural and Engineering Department, here in IIT.
Dr. Ravi, Assistant Professor, Industrial Engineering Department.
N.S. Chakrabarti, Professor, Department of Agriculture and Food Engineering at
Adin Purnamitra, Associate Professor, Agriculture and Food Engineering Department.
Ashok Mishra, Associate Professor, Agriculture and Food Engineering Department, IIT
Chandranath Chatterjee, Associate Professor in Agriculture and Food Engineering Department, IIT Kharagpur. Associate Professor, Computer Science and Engineering.
Rajesh Nalawade, Assistant Professor in Agriculture and Food Engineering Department, IIT.
So, you are what? Students? Look, can you introduce yourself? I am Lato.
Yes.
You also have a mic, sir. Yeah, please.
I am Anurag Nimwal, dual degree student in industrial engineering. I am Manoj Kumar, a master student in industrial engineering and management department.
Myself, Dr. PhD scholar, industrial engineering.
Shukla, BTech student, Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Kharagpur.
I'm from the artist and from the HSC in the background of IIT Kharagpur.
Choice of architecture, visual design, also from the
Are we missing from somebody from IIT Guwahati was supposed to come?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. So now it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome Professor Panjab Singh, ex-Secretary, Department of Agriculture, Research and Education, Government of India, DG ICAR, and more importantly to all of us, an alumnus and a distinguished alumnus of this institute who got his PhD. We all know that he has held many important positions, including Vice Chancellor of premier institutes. He is elected fellows of various scientific societies. The list is very large. And most importantly, he has made significant contributions in the field of water management, crop production, management systems, besides providing leadership in shaping up of national and state level research institutions and agricultural universities. It is very interesting to note that when yesterday Mrs. Amita Sharma asked Mr. Ashok Thakur, Secretary MHRD, that he is having this workshop, we are having this workshop at IIT Kharagpur. So he just said, okay, we met Professor Panjab Singh yesterday. So the good thing was that he was coming here from that meeting. So we welcome, sir. We welcome you to give your chief guest address. But before that, I'm sorry, I've moved on with the program. Before that, we have the inaugural address of Ms. Amita Sharma because I have really goofed up.
No, but you really want an inaugural address.
No, I did. So, in this program, when we started discussing this, Ms. Amita Sharma, if you don't know, being an IAS officer, she has had several backgrounds, and IIT Kharagpur has worked with her when she was in charge of the Rural Development Ministry, and with the huge NREGA schemes. She has worked with lots and has got huge experience in some of these broad spectrum interdisciplinary schemes. And it is with her we worked out the possibilities of this program. So I would request first Ms. Amita Sharma to tell us what is our theme, the goal that we have been looking for in many of these pan-IIT themes, and especially this theme of food security. And pardon me for becoming a little tense, which I normally don't do.
No, it's okay. I started speaking to you. Thanks a lot, Prof. Good morning, everyone. And right at the outset, actually, I am the one who wants to welcome Sharma to the community of IIT directors. And I'm very happy to be here. And this is my first visit to IIT Kharagpur. Though we've worked with IIT Kharagpur, I have worked with them, but I'm very happy to be here. And I want to use this opportunity, this forum, the faith we have in the leadership of the new director to lead IIT Kharagpur to new heights. This is very evident from the fact that in just a couple of casual conversations with them in various meetings, we already have the fruits of his dedication and competence in the organization and, kind of crystallization of many ideas that we've been discussing off and on. So thanks a lot for everything you have said, and then say we look forward to long years we have as an IT director. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, well, yes, I have worked with IIT Kharagpur in my job as the Joint Secretary for NREGA, that was a major first rights-based legislation at the national level. And could hear me, you mean? You could not? Yeah, I had to wake up all over there and come in his own home place in a way, you know? So, and that's when I started looking at, when I was looking at NRHA, and we were looking at what is known as, what was even then, as a labor-intensive, non-technical, non-technological, like at one end you have NRHA, the other end you have the sophisticated technologies for development. So you really have two spectrums and two models of development that were being much debated, and that's really continuing to be debated from a development perspective. And what are the choices that a country can make for its development? You need to go for the kind of stuff that NRHA is actually low, actually non-technical, or you need the high stuff. So there are two paradigms of development. And one of the things that I realized through working and engaging with America was that it's not either or. Actually, high-end technology actually help things like the one that the NRHA does. And you need the research and the scientific knowledge that are in portals like the IITs and IIMs and the big league institutions for that knowledge transfer to actually inform programs meant for very basic distributed equity. And that's when I started dialoguing with the IITs as a joint secretary, and I'm very glad that IIT Kharagpur was actually very forthcoming on this. Though I never managed to come here at that point in time, but they did a lot of work, and I'm happy to know that this is going to really help me. And actually read personal plate because I saw the beautiful work that a lot of IIT professors were engaged with in their own part of their own individual commitments, and trying to extend their research into as applications to the common man and his manifold miseries. So how do you health, water, soil, range of issues that were coming up that surrounding rural areas are evidence of. And I'm very pleased to notice that these bright professors who could be doing so much more, they could all have just made abroad in fast salaries, and actually chosen to come here, probably came before 6 papers, they were professors now, and many of you actually were sitting on the institute, to my right, have come back and are working on things that were very fundamental. But at one end, they were all talking to me because as a bureaucrat, they were asking me, where is the space for piloting in a light habitat or research outcomes? And so the dialogue actually began with you. You opened up the dialogue, right? And that's what made me learn. I want to make that very clear up front. So my whole confidence comes from your conversation on this and your thinking on this. And that's because of what you're telling me right now. That's what made me ask the then ASPMO, who's unfortunately no more with us. Before the International Innovation Council came up, I asked him because of Panjab seemed to say we belong to the good old days of 10 years of resisting in our state and worked like a team there. And so Gopal, that was the name of the ASPMO, and who was also responsible for the National Innovation Council. So I told him that people like, there are professors like Professor Mandori and whom I travel a lot on flights, to simply look at research and technology transferring itself into productive processes for the common man. And it didn't matter that common man working with hands on the soil, or the common man is somebody who's seeking to be a highly skilled person. It didn't matter at all, because that was the beauty and versatility of the research that was going on in these institutions. And then we got about 20-30 such professors to meet with Mr. Gopal Krishna, and as a result of which that whole corpus for national innovations came out of that. And we were looking at this kind of creative fund in the National Innovation Council that will look at and enable anyone to apply for a research insight to get transferred. And this is a larger background, and because what we're trying to do in any form here in Kharagpur today is all the result of this macro thinking and commitment of national policies to use to create what I call a knowledge-based ecosystem of productivity. Because in today's 21st century, it doesn't really matter what is the actual process of production, but is that knowledge-based? That's a critical question. And only then can it be sustainable. And then it transforms knowledge construction system, and it also, of course, transforms productive systems. And that's where a policy practitioner like me finds a role in this at all. Because we can facilitate this dialogue, we can help the institutions interact with and inform policy. And so our policy our problems are your research problems, and your research outcomes should inform our policies. And that's the real challenge. In that context, of course, this whole question of the fact that now we're looking at a rights-based dialogue, all development and democracy in the right. And the issues about right actually emanate from how much money do you want for rights? And I think that's a very wrong understanding of rights. Because basically rights is about, do you have the capability, as Amita is saying, do you have the capability to know and access your rights? And if you have the capability, then you actually don't, it's a very economical way of doing rights. It's not really about large money spreads. Anybody who's worked in a rights-based program long enough knows that the rights-based program, development program is in the long run sustainable, very financially smart. But that is what got us into talking about this whole thing about a Center for Food Security, because the new right is the right to food. So we've had right to livelihood, that was Narega, right to education, that's the second one. Before that, we had the right to forest rights. So the forest village right, which is about rights to deprived groups, which intersect many needs. Health is not yet a formal right because of the complexity of the whole health system. But yes, whether you call it the right or not, it actually is a right because the right to live. So both the right to food, these are all rights to live if you look at that. I mean, do you get food? Do you have health? Do you have the means to sustain yourself? What are these? They're all rights to. Do you have the skills whereby you have the knowledge where you should access your basic necessities? These are the different forms of rights, and they're all about the right to be. So I'm very glad that IIT Kharagpur is able to perceive this role, not just as a high-end, big league global institution that produces world's leaders in different forms. They're actually looking at greening and, sort of the minds of this faculty, student, and its own environment here to look at the right of a human being to be. The food security is about that. And obviously this rich area of minds here coming from food engineering and interdisciplinary contributions should make this center for where you can look at research in a holistic manner. So I see that in the structure of the program with which you can do. And I just want to use the opportunity to say the entire commitment, I've discussed this with my secretary, we will be having meetings at higher levels, so perhaps in those whole system, and we can just have a high level dialogue now. And not so much for money. Money, I always begin my workshop by saying, please don't worry about the money is always handling your right first off. Think about the intellectual synergies, think about your research processes, think about your intersections and collaborations, and think about getting started as of now, because time is very important. Research takes a long time to fructify into outcomes, to get completely tested, to have to productize itself, moving in the system. So for me, the urgent matter is time. So if we start now, everything else we can take for granted. And I hope that we can follow up this center that will become a model for other IITs. This is why I say a real stakeholder is Professor Desai here, and all that new IIT and old IIT, and that they have a similar chain, a food chain, so to say. We get a food chain where we all the IITs, and that will produce a new India. Thank you very much, Professor, and thank you for coming, and thank you all for being so beautiful.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. Let me again welcome today Professor Desai. Let me just, before requesting him to say, after 5-6 of us met in Delhi, we decided that we will, with Ms. Amita Sharma, we decided that we will have several of these initiatives. And each one of us is leading or trying to spearhead one and drawing everybody else. And Professor Desai is part of that initiative, and he's looking at design, and we've already started participating in that. So before we go to Professor Panjab, since Chief Guest address, I will request Professor Desai to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Pasha. I think I'm here more to listen and learn. This is not my primary discipline. I'm an electrical engineer working more in ICT. I think this is a very important topic, and since the bill is there, it will be passed. So, as technocrats, as technologists, as management experts, how can we contribute to this? And of course, IIT Kharagpur is most well suited because you have a strong department of food and agricultural engineering, and most of the IITs or ISCs don't have it to that extent. So I am very happy that Partha has taken the lead in this to start this particular dialogue, and perhaps for the first time in this domain, IITs are actually going to be making a contribution. For us, it was a lot easier to make contributions in ICT and maybe in various other engineering disciplines. The way I am looking at it is that yes, there are technologies which are involved in food itself, but eventually distribution, monitoring, information, data analytics is going to play a role in this. Though the word food security does not necessarily spell that out, but when you look at the whole gamut of things that will involve in giving food security, at the back end, ICT in one form or the other is going to play a role. We cannot quite avoid that. So I do see a strong role for people like myself. And we do have, though we are a new IIT, I think we have a fairly strong group. I mean, you have a much bigger campus here rather than a smaller campus. But we have not many in food technology, but biotechnology we have a small group out there. And I think some of them can contribute to the deliberations that will take place at this point. So I look at IIT Kharagpur of taking the lead, but we would like to certainly participate and make a contribution to the overall goal of providing food security for the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Desai. And it will be our endeavor to not only us, but all the other IIT, ISC and other institutions which have come, we would seek all their help to proceed forward. Now it is again my pleasure and honor to request President Gapsi. Can you speak one, sir?
Hello.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Hello, yeah, thank you. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Prof. Partha, the Dynamic Director of this institute, Professor Desai, Amita, Sharma, Additional Secretary in the Ministry of Human Resource Development, my very distinguished friends, Dr. Magga, I can see in front, Dr. Chandra, Dr. Vadavia, and very many colleagues from IIT. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, let me at the outset most warmly welcome all of you to this very important session and congratulate Director IIT to take this lead on a very important topic which I think is very close to everybody's heart. But for the science said it's not my domain, I want to remind you food security is the domain of everybody living on earth. Therefore, I think you will be important responsibility for all these things. And it's really a great pleasure, to listen to this topic now, which we call, a marriage between technology, very technical, those are custodial of, and food producers, like the one meeting that we are right now. So far, we have been all talking in the Ministry of Agriculture, in the Indian Council of Agriculture Research and Institutions. All these things related to IITs and things like that will really make a very significant change in the system that we have. And this is the beginning of the first meeting that we have, which fell off. We have thought of this meeting along with IITs and many other institutions which are involved in the agriculture sector, like Central Institute for Agriculture, the Director is here, our Vice Chancellor Prof. Magga is here, and many others who are here. Yes, I was yesterday with Mr. Thakur, the Secretary MHRD, and he did very clearly mention that education goes across, there is no distinction between health, general education, agriculture education, engineering education. So we should have very strong brainstorming and bring the kind of network, the marriage that we can have between the systems that we have, so that we can address the issue, in a coherent manner, jointly, rather than individuals setting their own score and seeing the things independently, and things have not really moved the way we should have moved. In a meeting that we had yesterday for setting the guidelines for, setting up the central agriculture universities in the country, we had invited participants from IIM, IITs, central universities, state universities, and we were also there yesterday. But a very good deal of discussed to very issues went across this as to how bring this kind of interaction between system institutions, and I think therefore it was very important. I'm also happy to tell you that the Department of Science and Technology is now developing a document on Vision 2035. Many IITs, many others are involved. There are 14 sectors which they have moved forward very clearly as to what should be looking in now 2035 or so. And food and agriculture, food security is one of the very important components. Fortunately, I am involved, so we have the feeling as to what should really go into a process to bring this thing to happen, and therefore it becomes important. So I must say, and congratulate, this is a very good beginning that you are making. A multi-pronged attack by different groups to see that food really becomes secure. And what is that, I'll talk to you in a few minutes that we have in my mind. Now, having said that, now food security is a very well talked issue globally. Everyone is talking not now, talking for years. And food security we can talk at a global level, food security we can talk at a national level, food security we can talk at a household level. All the three are most important. And what we are saying today, basically there are different definitions given to food security, but basically we say in a layman's language, it is availability, it is access, and testability. In other words, you should have plenty of it, then everyone should have access to it, and thirdly, it should be available over a period of time and years, not that you get for a year and second year start. And that is the situation that we have, and that is what we have to ensure to really get to the portal that we have. If you talk at a global level, we have enough food to feed the whole world. This is debated and said by everyone that we talks. On the contrary, we say that every one child dies every 5 seconds because of malnutrition and hunger. Now that's the situation that we have. Take the situation that we have in India. We have gone from 50 million tons when we began our country's independence, have crossed now 260 million tons. It is unparalleled production compared to any scale that we take anywhere in the world. But I am trying to say that we have enough food again, if we take terms of availability that we have in the country, 260 million ton food. And then we say we have the highest milk production. We are only second and third largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. That means we have enough to feed our population. Availability is assured. Accessibility is a problem. Stability is a major problem. That is one. In other words, you can say you might be food secured as far as availability is concerned at the national level. But when you come to the household level, you have a serious shortage of food. You have serious shortage of access to food. And then the nutritional security becomes on top of everything. And that is why we are saying today, despite all that we have 300 million people, 1/4 of the population, which is below poverty line, 42% of the population is anemic, and 42% of the population, child population, we say, they have hunger or some kind of thing. And we also say that 13 lakh children die every year because of hunger and malnutrition before they say their first birthday. Now that is the scenario which is presented, which is very tragic. That despite all that we have, we are not able to do that. Then what is that? So therefore we are saying today, I am trying to make, because I will not take much of time, but I only want to highlight the thing that we have, particularly because some of you may not have been really exposed to a lot of things that we talked about for all these 30, 40 years. We can address those issues as a kind of a congruence between policies and the development and the program that you are going to think to bring out at the end of the day, so that you really move in a direction that is really required for the kind of thing that we have. After having done all this that we are saying today, we are saying that there is still a negative correlation between the required food production that we say and the availability of food over a period of time, which is declining. Even the food production growth rate is declining, and also we are saying the farmers' prosperity in terms of what we are talking these days, in terms of size, in terms of rural-urban divide, is also becoming a very serious issue. And that is why, very particularly, as you said, during the reform period, that is 92 to 2011, and 20 years, and 20 years pre-reform period, that is 1971-1991, you will find the rate of growth, everything as you say per capita, has invariably declined during the reform period. Compared to 5-year growth period of pre-reform period, where this had invariably increased. This puts a very large question that as to where are we moving and what should we really do to bring the change that you are taking to. And that is the reason that today every one of us are saying that 40% of the farmers, they want to quit farming. They are tired of it, they are fatigued, they are distressed, and they don't want to continue. That's what we call the suicide rates sky jumped. Every time we feel reported that there is kind of suicide going on, and then the most striking feature is that the urban and rural income, which used to be 3:1, that means it is 3 rupees for the urban population, 1 rupee for the rural population. These are gone to 6:1. So this divide has increased. Now this is where the larger question of food security, feeding the population, livelihood, everything is linked, and therefore I think we need to address as to what we are going to do. And that is why the question also largely said, the mismatch between the allocations and the infrastructure linked employment growth should be the target that we should have in the whole process. Now having said that, let me also address for the next 5 minutes, what are we looking for production? The production, then processing, and then the logistics are 3 very important areas which have been picked up from this particular meeting that we have, or the conference that we have. Now today's the question is not the question of production. It is the question of productivity. That means the per unit land area, what are we able to take out? And that is where India stands at a very low level. And we say that we have enough scope for raising our production. Say if you see beyond 350 million ton, perhaps you don't need to produce more. Even today, as I said, if you are able to do access and distribute what you have, you don't have to produce it. And then if you can really say what we are losing and which are the logistics that we are coming and talking, we are able to do it. So what we have to do with lesser and lesser land, the latest report you might have seen, which appeared last week, every year we are losing cultivable land, getting into buildings, industries and other uses. And in 4 years, that is 2007-2011, we have lost 8 lakh hectare of land. Few states like Gujarat where we have gone, and few other smaller states like Gujarat and Tripura, land availability has gone up. But in all other states, the land, agricultural land has gone out of agricultural production. That says that we are shrinking a land resource. We are only cultivating 144-45 million hectares, but that's not a very shocking thing. If I could give you a figure that from out of 100 million hectares, which China is cultivating, they are producing more than 600 million tons. So 700 million tons, we are producing 250-60 million tons out of 145 million tons. Not that they are very good, very better, but they have to be able to put the management in place. And that is why their productivity is very high. Can we really do that? And therefore, the basic issue comes from the limited land resources. Can we really produce more and more that we need today? And therefore, the basic crux lies to increase the productivity, and that of course leads to production increase of individual crops and systems that we are talking is the major issue that we have. The second major challenge that we are getting today is maximizing production per unit water. It's the biggest crisis that we have, and it's going to be more and more. But in 2 days before coming here and being in Delhi, I was in Central Regional Research Institute. So you can say travel from Pakistan to Bangladesh, very close to it. And you find there is a very distinct indication. If you take the whole Rajasthan, take the whole Bundelkhand of Uttar Pradesh and all that area, is all declared, black areas, red areas, that means there is no water. So therefore the crux lies, how can you make the best use of the natural resources, particularly water, energy and biodiversity, and get the maximum out of it. Every unit spent is the biggest challenge that agriculture scientists are facing today, not in part in terms of producing technology and also implementing the technology so that the foreseen unit of water that we are going to do, we are able to do. The third major challenge, because I said three parameters of food security, I said availability, accessibility and stability. The stability can come only when you have soil productivity. When I say soil productivity, I don't mean soil fertility. Productivity, I mean you're recycling back everything that you have, and therefore you are able to maintain the level of soil. Today the situation is many areas like as I said for the water, many soils have been declared unfit for cultivation. There has been one-way channel. We have been taking out all the areas. During the Panjab farmers, for your information, Punjab and what we call the first green revolution, which came in mid-60s, was basically from Punjab and Western UP and all those areas, and particularly for rice and wheat. Same farmers in Punjab today are saying, who used to feel proud of saying that we exported wheat for the rest of the country, they say today we exported our blood. Now they have gone down so much, 400 feet, 500 feet, 600 feet, 700 feet water, and they have no resource that they can use. Now they are thinking of diversification. And therefore stability becomes very important. Therefore we have to address the soil productivity, water productivity, and then the land productivity, as I said, the crop productivity. Becomes very important issue that we have to address so that we are able to link by composting, recycling, whatever technology, plenty of technologies are there. Part of it may not be applicable, there are many which could be done. But we must address as a scientist and technology issue. It is not one way channel. Because we have to leave something for the posterity that we are thinking about as to what we do. The third very important issue again comes, the post-harvest management. Each one of us, the latest statement by our agriculture minister, who has been their minister for 10 years now, makes a statement that 40,000 crore, we used to say 60,000 crore, 50,000 crore worth food grain and products are wasted every year. Now this is going to every one of us. What has been done for that? If you can really check that, 35 to 40% of our perishables like fruits and vegetables are just wasted in transport, transit, storage, production, and 10 to 15% of our grain, we just move across Haryana and Punjab, we find stakes of grains lying on the roads which are just receiving soaking water, and those grains are then disposed of for something else. Now therefore the point that I am trying to make, why I said in the beginning, we have to choose between what we want to do and what is being done. So we need integrated infrastructure. And in the context I can say we are going to produce 60, 70, 80 million tons of food grain. Where are we going to store? Where are we going to keep it? How we are going to rob our logistics if we talk about? But there are very obvious fact I think they have got to be taken out if you are really going to do that. And therefore, the largest owners like on technologies take care to produce methodologies, technologies, and logistics. Logistics, when I say logistics in place, right now there are scientists I can tell they can have tell you many structures and designs they have made and they are very good right in this institute. The food processing and post-harvest engineering technologies. Unfortunately, I happened to be a student as I have said. Now, but the posture is to putting them in place. You have to have those, you can't procure and directly send to the farmers or buyers, but then where are those logistics? So we have to not only see the technology per se that we have, also the group has to come with the recommendations to say, how are we going to bring that in place? If you really want to make the food security PDS system, whatever we target that term, to be a successful technology to bring that in place and therefore. So what the point, it has two prongs attack. If you can really reduce that loss, I would say here you achieve 300 million tons. See, out of 260 million tons, 10 to 15% of food grains and the huge amount of fruits and vegetable milk that we are producing fully about 30-35%. You can imagine even half of that, if you can really preserve and give it to users, I think the country's problems can resolve. And you have to choose whether you have to spread 1 inch of water on 1 acre area or same 1 inch in 3 acre area. 3 acre area, if you spread 1 inch water, you might get 2 quintal per acre, but then you get 6 quintal. But if you put the same 1 inch water on 1 acre, you might get 5 quintals, but that is still at the same. Now the choice has to be designed, and depending on where are you doing. If it is Rajasthan, obviously the first choice. If you are here in this area, the second choice, because you have no land, limitations, problems. But what I have tried to point that I am saying, everything becomes so important that you have to address those issues and break that into. And therefore, the input efficiency or input conservation, input efficiency, dealing with the top priority that we have today, linked to logistics, food security is not that big an issue. As an agriculture scientist, I have spent 40 years in agriculture. We have been talking, giving all kinds of things on the even today's state. As I said right in the opening thing, the unparalleled growth that Indian agriculture has made compared to any sector in India. Even if you take IT, it is unparalleled that from a begging bowl we have become exporter just because of farmers' effort that they have made and the technology backup. But all this is that is happening of express not the people just starving, dying, hunger. These are some of the very strong logistics that we touch base where we want to see. The stable and sustained food security issue that we have, and therefore reducing food storage technology losses, bringing those things in places which is linked to cold chain, storages, truck transport, refrigerated transport, and increasing the shelf life of plants and products that we can think of with the issue that can be created and is directly linked to the food security issue that we are talking about. Now the next issue is the climate change. It is offering everyone, are sensitized to it. We see having, it is going to have a very major change, whether you talk of desert of Rajasthan, or talk of desert of Ladakh, or talk of the areas which are very high area, coastal areas of the country. And that is going to have a very significant effect on the agriculture, also on the water resources, and the most important, and the whole process that we have, the biodiversity related to plant, animal, history, anything that we talk. And therefore it becomes very important now that we are talking the appropriate mix of everything for the situation that we have. Well, if we have hot desert, problem may come for high temperature, therefore you can have shrinking growth period, and you have to stay crop. On the contrary, if you have rise in temperature in dark or desert area, you might get extended period, opens and you will start for other crops. And similarly coastal areas, so all these things are being worked out, and the new program that is being floated, on the climate change. We are all working on that, and I think the issues are being debated as to what should be the alternative model that could be applied for the situation that we foresee next 20, 30, 40 years. And therefore the whole thing comes down to the paradox of conservation and increasing food production. On one hand you want to conserve the resource, the other one you want to increase the food production. Now these two have to be merged. And that is why all that we are talking today, the integrated farming systems approach and model that we are trying to bring. And that's the issue that we have to debate. And I am very confident that group that is sitting here is a very good group, mixed group, which can address the issues from different angle. And that is why I say for agriculture, every discipline becomes important. And if you can really put that in place. And lastly, I then therefore say, that can we really think of the crop patterning or some kind of diversification in agriculture which should link with food security. Even there is apprehension. I hope it doesn't happen. The way we are getting the food security, the way this is going on, the procurement going on, it might affect farmers' may resort to not growing wheat and rye. Because it's availability, it's a change. Farmers deal with prices. Suppose you are not able to procure from the farmers, no buyers are there who are looking for 2 rupees, 3 rupees kilo food, then where the farmer will go, you will find them say, will not go for this because there are no buyers. And all this mismanagement goes in the government, let us acknowledge that. Even today what we are producing, we have no capacity to really procure it, store it, and properly distribute it. Additional food that we are going to be, let us see what we can do. We keep our finger crossed. But now that the bill has come, right or wrong, I have no comments right now. But if the bill has come, let us prepare the best that we can think of as to how we can address this issue on the pattern that we have. So therefore, let us think of that. And the other aspect is for the scientists particularly, when we think of the innovative technologies for bringing this change, when we talk of that, we talk of, the crop strains, varieties, products. I was expecting Dr. Sapal Datta is here, but I thought I don't see him. But we can really have a DDG for improved, plants with high water efficiency. That means, the genetic engineering process going on, genetic modification going on. Can you design a plant which can grow, a rice which can grow in drought areas, wheat which can grow in flooded areas, whatever, the kind of thing that you're saying. With improved water use efficiency, can we improve the photosynthetic capacity of the plant so that by producing one filter it can produce 2 filters? And can we really acquire the nitrogen fixing capability in a plant? It's all going on, and you see tomorrow science is growing so fast that you can produce a plant which can synthesize nitrogen. We don't have to go for external application of nitrogen fertilizers. And therefore can we acquire the production which can be resistant to pests and diseases, salinity, climate resilience agriculture, and all that we are talking today. And therefore, the integrated process of agriculture, post-harvest technology, byproduct utilization, aquaculture, food processing, and their marketing, testing their marketing availability, all these parameters have become very important, and we should therefore address, it's not only food security as I said, it's nutritional security as well. And many places only, you can get access to rice and wheat. That's not enough. We still continue with the problem of anemic. We still continue with the problem of nutritional security, and all that continues to clear the issues that we have. And linked to that, I recall what Mr. Thakur said yesterday when we met, that human resource development becomes most important. When we say that human resource development, high-level academicians sitting here is fine if you want them. They should become, space scientists, agriculture scientists, nanoscientists, rules economists, can really breed excellent technologies. But for want of managers in agriculture, the middle level, I said the trade, the cold storage, the processing, project preparing, networking, marketing, all these we need a second level of managers who can really man these things. And most important, the third, who actually produces, puts his hand in soil, he is completely deprived of the technical skill. And therefore, we are not able to really put the technology in place because we are not able to capture what we are trying to say. And therefore, what we are trying to advocate is a three-tier system of education. The skilled worker, the managers, and the top-level scientists and teachers. I think this we have to. We recently submitted a report on the National Higher Education Policy in Agriculture. Second, fortunately, I happen to be the coordinating of that. And I think that brings out all these points very clearly as to what we should look now when you are going to look at agriculture as agriculture, not agriculture is science, but agriculture as a production goal and production center for the process that we have. Aspects like production, post-harvest technology, logistics, all are very important. But I said the policy linked development has to find a place. All that you say, the chair of scientists say that technologies have come. We used to produce, 1 ton, half ton, 1.5 ton of maize. Now we can produce 15 tons of maize. We used to produce 2 tons of rice. We can produce 15 tons of rice from the same land. Now this is a remarkable growth, but from how much area? That's the difference between India and China. If India has to be able to put 30 billion tons, they have put 300 million tons, to come out of that. That's the area comes. That's the difference that we have. And I think let us do that. And therefore, at the end, I will say let's have the conversation between the policymakers, technologists, planners, and when you come out with the recommendation, my request to Partha will be that we should address these three issues. Or else we are left at a point where we really don't take off, and then we must just end up the technology part. But technology minus these two, this is what has been the cry that we have for all the years. And unfortunately, we have been saying what we have said for all the years and not move forward. With these words, I once again thank the director, Dr. Badavia, who is again very dynamic head. I know him for long. He has been working with the system. That this kind of arrangement has been made to discuss this visited here, come out with very good, pitch, and so the Ministry of MHRD, Ministry of Agriculture and ICAR, when we go for the joint brainstorming session, we will flag this issue and see the recommendation of this group finds a place in the major policy deliberation that goes on, which gets the implementation, and then only perhaps we will be able to address the real issue of food security, food availability, and access and stability for the around the world. I once again thank you all, and to Director and Dr. Valeria for asking me to be here for this conference. Thanks a lot.
For this wonderful introduction and for the gamut of issues that you have raised. Now we will start the next session, and all of us can kindly go into the stage, out of the stage into the session, and Professor Tiwari, you kindly come up and coordinate this. I will request our team members to very quickly go through the presentations instead of going through it on a very detailed scale, so that we can devote more time to discussions and other issues.
So, Desai and all my distinguished experts coming from different IIT and universities, and my distinguished colleagues from different departments here, we just now going to discuss the main proposal, which is a multidisciplinary proposal that has been integrated with the thematic areas from the different fields. So, these are the different experts that we have derived from the different universities and IITs. Dr. S. Maga is from BS Konkan Agriculture University, Pune. Then we have Professor T. Chandra from Central Institute of Agriculture Engineering, Bhopal. Professor N. Vishwanathan, very distinguished professor from IIT Bangalore, and he has contributed in many ways to logistics. Dr. D. Dinesh Kumar and Professor F. Bhattacharya, Professor D. Vasu, Vidhan Samiti Vishwavidyalaya, Mohanpur, and we have among them Professor G. K. Adil from IIT Bombay, and Professor C. Rajendran from IIT Chennai, and Professor Ravi Shankar from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, Dr. T. Mishra, Professor S. Datta, Gargi Desai, Professor